Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Kerbal Space Program, where last episode we put together this very simple rendezvous craft here. All we need to do is park it next to the other one, transfer the crew, bring them back, and call it a day. So that's exactly what we're going to do here. This is not optimally cheap, but it's good enough. So that'll be absolutely fine. We've got Jeb in here right now. I think we're going to launch this first one unmanned. So let's go ahead and get this out there. I'm not even going to bother simulating this. This shouldn't be an issue. We might have a bit of a weak joint between the first and second stages. We'll see. But I don't expect this to be a significant issue. So it should be absolutely fine. If not, this is unmanned. I'm not going to worry about it. It's only 25K. So we're going to throttle this up. SAS on. In fact, we should be on up. There we go. And let's go. Yeah, there might be a bit of a joint issue here, but I don't care. It's fine. So this is absolutely fine for the moment. Let's get up to an apoapsis of about 10, and then we'll do our gravity turn. We just need to park this in an orbit, and I want this to be... It can be literally any orbit. But the two of them are going to want to be in somewhat different orbits so that we can fairly easily get a rendezvous. So to that end, we may want to target maybe like 150 for this guy. Something along those lines. Let's put this into orbital prograde. Ooh, okay. Sure. Well, that was fun. We did a loop-de-loop. And we're going to do another one. Okay. So in that case... Are we going to do another? No? Maybe. Oh, yep, here we go. Okay. Are we not gimbaling? We're gimbaling. This is wild. Okay. The gimbaling is not being tremendously effective. Okay, so we can address that very easily by putting some tail fins on here. It's not the end of the world. I think we still have more than enough delta V to make this happen. So I'm not concerned about it. That was a little bit exciting, though. And also, apparently, invoked sneezing. So, you know, that's exciting. So we're just going to punch up through the atmosphere here. We're moving pretty quickly, and we're building up a bit of a plasma sheath. I don't expect significant issues there either. So the apoapsis is currently high enough. Let's go ahead and move this over to horizontal velocity up and see if we have another fun tumble. No. But the apoapsis is high enough, so we are going to be tumbling for this moment. We don't have any power generation on this, do we? We don't. The question is, do we have enough electric charge in here? It's a hard maybe. It's a hard maybe. We should maybe put some power on this. So we could abort this flight. We are not simulated here, remember. So if we were to abort this flight, we'd need to take this over to retrograde and just try to bring it on down, which I'm comfortable with doing. Okay, so we're just going to burn about here. I'm going to keep a little bit of delta V in the tank here, although we'll see what it's like. We'll try to recover some of this, but it'll be interesting. Okay, so we're going to warp around, and we're going to bring this down. So this is absolutely okay. We'll just make a couple of quick alterations to this. So we're going to want to bring this around to retrograde, which we're going to have a hard time with. The question is it going to try to flip to prograde, or is it going to try to flip to retrograde? So it's going to go one way, and I'm not sure which way our aerodynamics are. It's going towards retrograde. That is good. We like this. So we're going towards retrograde here. That seems absolutely fantastic. Okay, I just wanted to hold us here. So I did a brief burn there to try to hold us as close to retrograde as possible. In theory, aerodynamics should hold us here for a while anyway. And we're going to be accelerating. The question is, are we going to build up too much speed? If so, we'll burn this off. I'm keeping an eye on our altitude here and on our speed. Speed is still increasing at this time. Starting to see a heat gauge on the engine. Yeah. There we go. So we'll just do that for now. And we'll bring this on down. So I want to do something like this. This is what happens when I don't bother simulating flights, right? It's fine. No problem whatsoever here. This is actually completely safe at this point. These chutes, are they armed? No, they're not. There we go. Now the chutes are armed. We'll get the main chute out, and at this point, we can just physics warp down to the ground, and we'll be able to recover this. That'll be a good chunk of it. I'm not sure what the, oh, that was exciting right here. I'm not sure what the rest of it is going to look like. And you can see we're coming down kind of fast here. We're over water, so I'm not terribly concerned about it. But this is more fuel than we would have in reality. And also, our main chute wasn't deployed. So that's all fine. So, 2 problems. Problem number 1, we need to fix those aerodynamics. That's easy. Problem number 2, we need to put on some sort of power generation. That's also incredibly easy. So I'm really not concerned about it. Let's just get those fixes done. And let's see how much of this we're able to recover. So it costed us 25K to do that launch, and we recover this and get how much of that back? It's going to be some, but it's certainly not going to be all 25K. We did incur a little bit of a loss there, and that's fine. So, the question is, how much of a loss? Any moment now it'll load. Any moment now. Okay, so we recovered 3501. Okay, that's not very much. Most of our cost is, I think, in that mainsail, and to be clear, if we brought it off of 2.5 meter down here, we could do this a lot cheaper. But I don't care. It's fine. So we're just going to go for some, I think Delta Deluxe winglets will be good enough. We'll just go for something kind of like this. That will allow us to much more easily maintain our attitude in the atmosphere, and that'll be fine. And then we need some power generation. That will be, I'm just thinking about where to put it. I think non-retractable, and we would put 2 of them about here. Okay, that should be it. That should be all we need. Do we have any Kerbals in this? No. Perfect. Let's try this one more time, and this time, hopefully, it will be less acrobatic. Let's put it that way. Honestly, I would have gone to orbit with the, even with the acrobatics, if it wasn't for the fact that I forgot to put solar panels on it. That was the real killer there. So at this point, we need to put this in surface up, and off we go. So now we'll see what happens if we crank it over to orbital prograde. It should be much more controllable with these tail fins. In theory, anyway. So we're moving pretty quickly here. We're going to move this over to orbital prograde as soon as our apoapsis is about 10 kilometers. And we'll see how that feels with the added stability from the fins. This is going to add a lot of stability. Okay. But we did have multiple flips previously. It's fine. It's absolutely A-okay. So, this is turning over fairly quickly here in our gravity turn. The question is, are we turning too aggressively? And the answer is kinda. I'm watching our time to apoapsis here. It went down 1 second, but then it went back up. So for the moment, it seems to be pretty okay. Yeah, it's increasing at this time. Now, we are going to remain fairly low in the atmosphere for a while. We're going to have a plasma sheath start building up very, very soon. And that's absolutely noted. Our apoapsis is still quite low. So now the question is, are we building up too much heat? If we see a heat gauge, we'll cut the throttle and coast for a little bit. There's a heat gauge. Cutting throttle. Heat gauge went away. Resuming burn. Heat gauge is back, but I'm going to keep burning for now. We see a second heat gauge. We're basically at orbital velocity right now, by the way. We're just very, very low. So that's absolutely understood. We've got a pretty major heat issue at this moment, and I'm not okay with it. So this was definitely too aggressive of a gravity turn. There's no doubt about that. We're just coasting for a little bit here. And our apoapsis is declining as we do this. So it's not great. We're getting a lot of drag. We need quite a bit more altitude. So I'm just going to put us into kill rot, and I'm going to bring us up over here. There we go. That's plenty of altitude. Now we're going to tumble a little bit because I cut the throttle there, but let's move this back over to prograde. Apoapsis is dropping quite a lot because that's a lot of drag. Okay, I'm just bringing up our throttle a little bit to try to gimbal ourselves over there and target the apoapsis a bit closer to where we want it to be. This is about where we want it to be, but that was not a great ascent. That was entirely on me. That has nothing to do with the design of this. But that was not phenomenal. Okay, I'm going to keep burning here a little bit to maintain our apoapsis at about 150. We're not going to be targeting 150 for the next flight, and we're going to go up higher. So that's absolutely fine. We'll have a lot more vertical velocity for the next flight. It'll be okay. But this one was a little spicy. It's not like we are lacking in delta V, though. We have so much delta V for this thing. So we're trying to make our way over to prograde. This poor reaction wheel is having a really hard time. That's not surprising. So this apoapsis is looking absolutely great. We're just waiting at this point until we crack the atmosphere, which is 5 kilometers away. We'll extend the solar panels at that time, get this thing up into orbit. So right now, there we go. We'll get the solar panels extended and warp to freeze physics and head over towards prograde. And we're just going to do an orbital insertion burn right here, which is going to be very minor, but that is still going to burn out our ascension stage, which is absolutely a-okay. Seems good. We've got more than enough DV for this. It's all good. So, we're trying. We're trying to turn to the node. It's kind of working. We're going to overshoot this pretty hard, I think. This is really not designed for moving all of this payload. That's okay. We're actually not overshooting it. Remarkable. Okay, let's go ahead and warp forward a little bit here. So we've got about 3 minutes until this burn. 2 minutes. 1 minute. And we've got 50 seconds. 40, 30, 20, 10, and mark. This engine did not activate. Okay, there we go. That makes more sense. So this is absolutely fine at this point. Our spacecraft is in orbit, and we're just circularizing the orbit a bit here. It is good enough, though. We don't really need to hit this perfectly, but it's fine. So there we go. We are now in orbit here, and let's hop back to the Space Center. So we don't need to change any of our design of this craft. We just need to change our ascent profile. Instead of going over when the apoapsis is at 10 kilometers, I'm going to wait till we are at 10 kilometers for this one. It's probably going to be a little late for the gravity turn this time, but that's fine. We have so much DV, it doesn't matter. I would rather go up more and then have to go sideways more than have to manage the heat gauges with a Kerbal on board. So that's fine. We will have... It doesn't matter who we bring, because we do have the remote guidance unit. I think we'll go ahead and bring... None of these are going to get XP from this. Jeb is fine. It really does not matter. We just need to have a crew member. Does not have to be a pilot. Does not have to be considering XP, because all of our Kerbals have more XP than this can give. So that's not an issue. They won't get XP from this. It's fine. So at this point, we need to put ourselves into surface up, and let's go, Jeb. So we're going to go until our actual altitude is 10 kilometers this time, instead of the apoapsis being 10 kilometers. It was just a little too aggressive last time. We spent more time in the lower atmosphere by a significant margin than I would have preferred. So we'll just do it like this. Let's move over into prograde mode, but we're going to burn here for a decent chunk of time. Cool. So this is going to build us up a lot of vertical speed. Right now we have 350 meters per second of vertical only speed. So this means that it's going to be a bit tougher for us to turn, and that's absolutely fine. But we know that this thing is plenty stable at this point. So that's 9 kilometers of altitude and 10 kilometers. Over we head. So yeah, this is definitely going a lot less aggressively. It's still turning towards the horizon, but it's going a lot less aggressively. I'm going to go to horizontal velocity up once our apoapsis reaches 50 kilometers. And there it is. So over we head, and we're now getting our horizontal speed. As you can see, our vertical speed is decreasing, but now it's beginning to increase again, which is perfect. That's exactly what we want to see. This will be a much cleaner launch. We're still going to get some plasma sheathing going on, I think, but it'll be much less significant. So we're targeting an apoapsis of probably about 100 kilometers for this one. That should be absolutely fine. We're at 70 right now, so that's looking much better than our last descent profile. 90 and 102. Cool. Hang on. There we go. Just wanted to burn a little bit so that we weren't pitching down like that. We're trying to pitch down a little bit again. Definitely not ideal. This is not exactly where we want to be. We would need gimbaling to correct it, though. So for now, I think I'll just accept the tumble. It doesn't matter all that much. So I'll just allow this to go around. And we'll be in vacuum by the time we get to prograde. So we're in vacuum now, and we are just making our way over to prograde. That tumble did not matter. That was just because we had our control authority dropping due to the decreasing pressure here, and this reaction wheel has a really hard time turning this. So that's not terribly surprising. Let's just go ahead and get into position for our orbital insertion burn, which is going to be a maneuver here. And we're just going to circularize this up and go to the node. Let's stop our tumble momentum. There we go. And let's make sure that this is circularized. This is actually a little beyond circular. There we go. Something like this will do. So that looks fine. We've got about 2 minutes at this point, and we'll have all the fuel from this. So we're definitely going to want to use this craft to do the rendezvous, and that's absolutely fine. So we've got about 50 seconds, 40, 30, 20, 10, and 1, 0, mark. Good enough. It'll do. We overshot a little bit, but it does not matter. So that's absolutely fine. This is, of course, our target rendezvous craft. We can see we're in inclination, so there's no problem there. So now what we need to do is we need to find ourselves an encounter. So how many orbits is this going to take? Just a couple. We don't have too much life support on this, but once we switch over, we'll have full life support again, so I don't think we're going to have an issue with that. Let's check in on this so we can see that our water and our food and our oxygen are here. It should be okay. This is going to be 1 hour, 26 minutes. Let's head over to the node. Let's freeze this current rotation. Okay. Let's get into position for this burn. And we'll keep an eye on our overall quantities here of life support, but it should be okay. Keep in mind, we've got an equivalent amount on the other capsule. So it'll be, we're going to just transfer that over and it'll be fine. Okay, so here we are in position for this burn. Let's go ahead and warp around. Watching these numbers here, it looks good. We're not going to have a problem. Okay. So we're currently about 50 seconds from this burn. Let's warp forward a little further. 30 seconds, 20, 10, and 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0, mark. So I'm burning kind of cautiously here because this is a lot of thrust. Okay, 0.9 meters per second. What would our separation be? 8.2 kilometers? Okay. So we're definitely going to want to work on that a little bit. We've got 162 meters per second left in this, which is a lot of mass for us to carry. More specifically, it's a lot for us to try to burn, right? Or turn with, I should say. So let's go ahead and warp to about here. We're going to move into target mode. And we're going to move to relative velocity minus. Our relative velocity is going to be pretty low. 20 meters per second. Yeah, that's very, very low indeed. I'm thinking we might just ditch this, lose 161 meters per second, and turn much more easily. That'll make us a lot more maneuverable. Yeah, let's do it. We're not concerned about Delta V at all. So there we go. That's now done, and we're making our way over. You can see just how much faster we can turn. So that's absolutely excellent. And we're going to want to dial this in a little bit. So we can see that the retrograde node is there, the anti-target node is there. I'm going to put us in kill rot, and let's warp up to about here. Okay. That's changing a lot. So we definitely want to do a corrective burn, and that's going to be somewhere out over here. Although, this is getting our relative speed too low. So right now, I actually want to head over and burn towards the target. Because our relative speed is reducing too much. So we're going to have to burn on this side a little bit, which means that we're now, instead of pushing the node, we are now pulling the node. And I don't know where exactly... There it is. Okay. Now we know where the pro-target node is. Or rather, the relative velocity up node. And that will give us the information that we need to know that we need to burn approximately here. Okay. So I'm just going to keep burning here until such a time as these nodes come together. It's a little overshot, I feel like, but we'll move this over to relative velocity minus now. And this is going to be in about 3 minutes, so we'll be absolutely fine there. We have so much life support. This is a lot of life support for what we have here. And we just have the capsule life support. It's wonderful. So that's absolutely great, and we have a lot of extra fuel as well. So we can see that this has definitely drifted quite a bit on us, and that's not terribly surprising. So the corrective burn that I want to do is going to be way out over here. We're 6.3 kilometers apart, and we just want to push those together a little bit. Approximately like that. But what we really need to do is we need to warp up over here and get closer. Okay. So now what we need to do is we need to do a burn up over this direction to push that node. And we'll just keep up with it a little bit here. Okay, that'll do for now. 4.5 kilometers. We need to get closer now. So we'll warp up over here. This is moving on us a lot. And that's fine. So once again, we'll do a get closer burn. I really feel like what we need to do, though, is we need to burn to the target. But we also need to push out our relative speed here. Okay, so I'm now burning towards target to get this separation a bit closer. Still 3 kilometers out. Okay. Let's bring our relative velocity down. Let's kill our relative velocity down to 0. I feel like that's what needs to happen now. So let's physics warp as we turn here. We're just in a little too similar of an orbit, I feel like. So at this point, what I want to do is I want to just kill our relative velocity, and then we'll do a get closer burn. So we're bringing this all the way down to 0, and we're having a bit of a hard time turning with it. No doubt about that. Can we get up to relative velocity minus, please? Thank you. Okay, now we went a little too far. What I want to do now is I want to burn towards target. So let's warp on over. But as we come by here, I'm just going to reduce our relative velocity a bit. There we go. And now I'm going to burn towards target. Man. Towards target doesn't seem like it's actually... Okay, there we go. We just needed to look at the next intersect. That's fine. So now we want to go to relative velocity minus. This intersect will be in about a minute, and we're probably on a collision course right now. So if that's the case, that's fine. So we'll keep an eye on this here. We see we're about 1 kilometer away right now. And I want to start shedding some speed here. We're coming in fairly quickly. So this is 30 meters per second. 25 meters per second. 20 meters per second. 15 meters per second. 10 meters per second. And about 5 meters per second. Perfect. We'll warp in a little closer now. Looks like this is not quite a collision course, but this is definitely close enough. Okay. Bringing us down to about 1 meter per second right now, and this is about the closest we're going to get. So that seems fine. We'll kill rot. Jeb is going to EVA. And he's just going to fly on over here and hop into the other capsule. If he will grab. There we go. So Jeb has now hopped in. Our contract is now complete, but we need to bring both of these back. That will be a job for next episode. I was planning on doing this all in one episode, but that acrobatic first flight, that cost us some time. You can leave your offerings to the engagement gods in the form of likes, comments, subscribes, and bell ringings, and a very special thank you to all of the channel members for making this video possible, including ALS Gamer, Dark Horse, Ethan Feldman, Aurelio, Upper Cumberland Gamers, Nick Smarty, Dimitri H, Punching the Microphone, The Lounge STL, and all the rest. And of course, you. Thank you for watching. If you'd like to support the channel, you can click the join button down below the video, and as always, I will see you all next time.